Hi, and welcome to Hit the Bar, the Shrimps fans panel. This week we're joined by Joe and Khan, who are back with us again. You've been on before. We have newcomers tonight in James and the Morecambe legend that is Derek Quinn. Welcome, all of you. Before the games that we've just played, we were sort of worrying a bit about how we would perform in those games. We've come off the back of 4 defeats. Joe, do you think we've had an improvement of performance, or are we just getting the run of the green because we had 2 fantastic victories over Easter?
I think they turned up. They've been unlucky in the results. Newport was unlucky, Gillingham was unlucky there, but they stepped up. They knew they were derbies. They knew there were 2 big games. It was a massive weekend. Stanley away. We've lost. We always have a bad one there, don't we?
Bit of a hoodoo on us, don't they?
But I think we were up for it. They all look fresh, ready to go for it. Yeah.
I mean, they were both deserved victories. But Quinn, have you seen a change in the performance? Anything that's changed, or is it just that we've got the run of it? Because we have played really all right in a couple of the games that we lost, didn't we?
Yeah, Newport away, Gillingham at home. We could well have drawn that game quite easily. Actually, I didn't have a great game, but he more than made up for it with his performances against Accrington and Barrow. Salford was the one disappointment in one of those games. Yeah. That was a really poor game. But last 2, Easter Monday, Good Friday, they were tremendous, great derby wins. Very nervous towards the end, but well-worthy winners.
And I mean, James, you're not going to play 90 minutes against teams like Accrington and Barrow, who are decent sides, and completely command the whole 90 minutes. But we almost did in both of them, didn't we?
Yeah, I think we did, yeah. We played brilliant in both them games. But I thought we played well in the 4 games we lost as well. We just unlucky.
Apart from the Salford one, maybe.
The Salford one, yeah, that was a bit
But I mean, Wrexham, we had a couple of dodgy decisions and a sending off, and it all changed, didn't it?
We had an awful ref for that one, I think. We really did. Yeah. But yeah, we played brilliant in them last 2 games.
We'll go to the Barrow game because it's most recent in our memories. But was there any particular players that you thought stood out in that game?
Guion Edwards had a good game. He just dribbling past all of Barrow's players, and quite a few players played really well. Yeah,
they stepped up, didn't they? I mean, I was talking to a couple of Barrow fans after, and they said Guion was the standout. But for me, I thought Sluey played well. I thought Stokesy, I mean, we spoke last week about the threat that Cole Stockton would bring, but Stokesy had it in his pocket. And I also like Jake Taylor on the day as well, that sort of quarterback role. Who was a standouts for you, Joe?
For me, it was Jake Taylor.
Yeah.
I know he has his injury problems, and when he's over and he's on, he's quality for Morecambe, especially this year. Last 2 games, he's changed his roles a little bit deeper. He's playing the ball more. He's getting the tackles in. He's spreading the play. He's like a little playmaker in there. He lets everybody else play their game. Like Guion in the middle, he's just phenomenal. Just his tackling alone, he's just sticking the legs in.
And then it's important that, isn't it? When we play out from the back, you do need somebody who's receiving the ball and then can set the attacking play up. No, he does that really well, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's somebody who wants the ball from the keeper early doors to turn and look forward and look at the wings and look at the players, and everybody just seems to know where they're going and what they're sort of doing. And they just want to play it on the floor and play it around a little bit more. And when they pass it around, it's some beautiful football.
Yeah, we were talking at the weekend and saying that some of the football we played, I think particularly under Jed, do you feel that, Quinny? Do you think he's brought a different dynamic to what Derek used to play?
Yeah, without a doubt. Derek was tight, be trying to constrict the other team as much as he can. But Jed, there's a fluency there, there's a flair. It's not going to always work, but I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying the football. Jake Taylor, I think, I said to him on the Friday after the game, I said, I never saw you as a defensive midfielder. You're absolutely loving it. He made a block against Gillingham, I think it 1-1. It was brilliant. And he's done that, he's carried on. Nelson Kubeni's a player.
Yeah.
He's a player. And I'm really enjoying the football. Guion is a class above. I hope we can keep him fit. Such a shame that Brandon Barker got injured so early because he's a player as well.
I think Charlie Brown's been really good as
Charlie
well.
Brown's been excellent.
I think he's class. I don't know why he hasn't stayed at other clubs, but I think he's been brilliant.
But Charlie was a fringe player.
Yeah.
Wasn't he doing it?
Yeah, he's
And then
come into
he
the
waited
team.
for his chance, and then he's gone what, 5-6.
Yeah.
He always, every time he like attacks, he looks like the defenders look scared of him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's good to have that, isn't it? We've got those players now. I mean, when we lost Michael Mellon and Eli King and Bloxham and the
Yeah.
likes of those, I worried how we would replace
Oh,
players like
worried,
that.
Yeah.
But Charlie Brown's come into it, like you say, and
Yeah.
Guion, we've got players who, in an instant, can
Change
turn
the
it
game.
from defence into attack and good attack.
Yeah, that was a brilliant goal against Barrow, the way he went round the keeper.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it was a mistake by their defender, but it was.
But he was on it.
He was on it,
It was
wasn't
a
he?
forced mistake.
And that was actually a ball from Jake Taylor.
Yeah.
And Jake Taylor thought, oh, it's going nowhere, that. And then all of a sudden.
But if you got on another day, the defender,
Mm.
and that's what did, just got the ball, let him turn.
Yeah.
Some
Yeah.
teams where he didn't give him that
It
chance,
was
and
that
he
press,
just,
that high
yeah,
press.
just
Yeah.
all of a sudden you've got somebody up there, and away he goes.
I mean, as a young fan, Carl, are you enjoying the style of football that we've had? And have you seen a change over the last season?
Yeah, something I've really enjoyed this season is that we've had no 0-0 games.
Yeah, mine, yeah.
I didn't realise that.
Yes, it's been interesting every game knowing that there'll always be a goal.
At one end or the other. Yeah, I didn't know that until you just said it. It's something you don't think about really, but yeah. And we've got, fantastic games that we've played. I was a bit disappointed with Barra's fans.
Mm.
I've never seen an end so full, so quiet.
Yeah.
Was that just because we killed them off early, or?
Outplayed him.
Yeah.
I think we completely outplayed him.
Well, we were outplayed at Salford, and it didn't stop the fans singing. It was
Yeah,
a bit
well.
weird, as all that.
Yeah, there was all Salford fans were at United, weren't there?
yeah. I think our fans are more loyal.
Did you notice any worries when we'd lost the 4 games on the trot? Did you notice anything in the camp where there was heads dropping, or there was a bit of talk about maybe keeping it tighter to try and get a couple of draws or something like that, or has he just maintained it?
I think the Salford game, after that one, I think there were a few names, but I think this sort of this 15 minutes of the next game will probably dictate what's going to happen. And then, obviously, Atkinson played really, really well. They got off on the good footing, and so I think they played really well. I think they, 6 games to go.
Yeah.
Just keep going, lads.
He
Keep doing what you
needed
do.
a bounce back, didn't he, after that
He did,
Salford,
he did.
because he looked really flat, and then Gillingham come, and
It was a good performance.
It was.
Despite the defeat, it wasn't a bad performance. And we could well have got something from the game. So they probably did deserve something from the game. A fluke second goal put them back ahead later in the game. That was massive.
but like you say, Archie's been brilliant since,
Yes.
hasn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he's brilliant before as well.
Yeah.
It's just one of those games. He's a young lad, and young keepers do that. And the next game for him was important.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
thankfully, have you seen the state of his face as
Yeah.
well?
Yeah.
He's been brave. He's done what he can do, and he's got back to form. And he's been really good.
Yeah, you've got to be chuffed for a lad like that, because the club supported him, didn't they? They were quite open and saying, look, it's just one of those, he's been brilliant for us, forget about it.
Yeah, exactly.
And we were able to because of the performance in the
If you look
game.
before Gillingham, how many saves did he make to keep us in games
Exactly,
to get support
exactly.
stuff like that, and you can the keeper's always going to have a bad day, and people are going to get onto him. But then you go next game, he's been phenomenal, hasn't he?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Played them out
It was,
again.
yeah.
It
Go
was.
out the bag again. What do you want?
And we didn't see much from Mr. Stockton, did we, in the Barrow game? I think we were all here last week thinking he's going to score. He's going to score against
I
us.
did as well, but didn't get sniffed, did he, really?
So I think Stokesy played him really well, didn't he? He sort of got tight to him, didn't he?
Yeah.
Kept his back to goal all the time, and I think he looked frustrated when he went off.
Yeah, he did.
It's funny you mentioned Charlie Brown there before.
Yeah.
And all season I mentioned Stokes because I know he's a really good player. I've seen him before, Forest Green, I've seen what he's done in Scotland.
Yeah.
I was wondering, why is he not getting a game? Couldn't get in the team, couldn't like Charlie, but now they're both in the team,
Yeah.
both doing really well. And Faz is a miss as well, but Stokes is coming in and doing really well. And I need to say, Jacob Beddoe against Atkinson, I thought was outstanding.
Yeah.
I mean, Beddoe, I think he's had a couple of loose games,
Yeah.
Salford game being one, but his standard is so high.
Yeah.
And he's sort of, in most games, he's like either, you could argue, man of the match or second. He's pretty consistent.
I think he's really reliable. I think he goes unnoticed sometimes because he's just.
I think you nominated him for
I did,
Player of
yeah.
the Season, didn't you?
Yeah, and some people thought, no, everyone's going to
He's solid, isn't he?
I just think he gives 100% every game.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does.
I just think he's a really good defender.
Yeah. Coming up, of course, we've got Doncaster, who we don't fear because we did them at their place by 5, didn't we? But completely different team now. I think they've won the last 5 games, including Wrexham in midweek, and I think they've only conceded 1 goal in those 5 games. Is it something you're worried about at all, or do you not fear anybody? How do you say that one?
I'd say not fear anybody, but it's a different team coming.
Yeah.
And as long as we turn up, we can give anybody a game. It's what happens on the day.
Yeah.
But they have beaten Wrexham, Crewe, Crawley recently.
Swindon away.
Swindon, they're on a good form, but that form's got to win somewhere.
Yeah. And, they've played those 5 games, they've won those 5 games, but none of them have been against Morecambe, have they? So,
No, I think if we press like we did on Monday, we've got every chance of beating them.
But we're a different team from that.
Yeah.
yeah.
But it's
I mean, actually a different team,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
completely different setup.
So,
And it's just a mad league, isn't it? Because I thought after that game, I thought they managed to get Zach here because they were on a really bad run. But thankfully, they kept faith in because Doncaster haven't always kept faith in the manager.
No, they are.
And he's got the experience and he's doing a good job now. But they could easily have that 5-match unbeaten one and then lose the next 4. That's what this league is all about this year. It's crazy.
And after that, we've got the Crewe game. Obviously, we don't fear them because we've beaten them at their place and they're on a bad run. But after this, we could beat Doncaster, lose to Crewe. That's how it is. We've just got to keep doing our thing, haven't we, James, like you said?
Yeah, just got to keep attacking teams like we are, and if we can get early goals in a game like we did on Monday, then I think we can beat anyone.
And we've got, again, Quinny, a little bit more than us from inside. How far's JJ off getting I'm not saying a start necessarily, but some involvement in the game?
But it wouldn't surprise me if Saturday he got 20-30 minutes.
Right.
If the circumstances demanded it. He doesn't need to, they doesn't need to. But I think he's ready. I think he's training not far away. But I don't think Donald Love's that far away. I've seen him about. I've seen him before the games, warming up with JJ 2 or 3 weeks ago. Yeah, JJ, I think he will get some period of a game at some stage, depending on how it's going.
And then the last few games, having that as a sort of injection of pace and skill up front, when we're looking all right up front anyway, could that be important, do you think, Joe?
yeah, you look at your bench, you want somebody to come off who can change the game. If, Guion, JJ, Adams, Slew, Charlie Brown, you can swap any of them around and they change the game, they're still going to come at you. And it's what you don't want. You don't want quality coming off your bench, fresh legs coming in at a tight defence. No team wants it. Nobody wants it.
And then we've heard today they've announced that they're going to have the sort of Player of the Year and the awards evening straight after the Forest Green game. Is that something you'll be going to? Excited about
Yeah, I think I'll be going. Yeah. I always enjoy the awards after the season.
that? And it's tickets now, isn't it? You got to buy tickets. I think it's season ticket holders.
Yeah, season ticket holders
and then
first. £5 for adult and £5 for juniors.
I don't think that shows commitment. I don't think that's a bad way of doing it than everybody just piling into the bar after the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good one. Where's your money on Player of the Season then, Joe?
I think you'll see will get it.
Yeah.
He's been solid.
Yeah.
He's not really put a foot wrong. He's just been constant. It's been.
Is that yours as well, Can, Joel Senior, or is anybody else?
I think overall, for most fans, it would be Joel. He's been consistent and been in the team for most of the season.
What about you?
Mine would be Jacob.
Jacob Badal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think he's really consistent and always gives up.
And we talk about bodies on the line, don't we? It's nearly always him.
Yeah, always, yeah. But I do think it'll be Senior, but for me it's Badal.
Quinny, where are you going with it?
Well, I'm not saying anything because every time I play of the year,
They get Player of the Year and then they get off.
they shove off after that, so I'm not doing it anymore.
Yeah. I think it's hard to argue against Joel Senior, but I'd have a word for Jordan Slew. I really loved his performances. And I was one who, when they signed him again, I'm like, what are you doing? Because I didn't see anything from him in his previous spells, but I think he's absolutely worked wonders.
I'm going to join you there. I did wonder myself. Derek signed him 4 or 5 times now. But I think he's been tremendous this year.
Yeah,
I think he's been a different player. I think this is probably his best season.
In the Accrington game where he cut in from the left wing and hit a right foot shot, I think everybody was going, "Go on, get it in," because that would have been a hell of a goal.
He's scored some cracking goals, hasn't he?
Yeah, brilliant.
I think he's better under Jed
Yeah.
than Derry.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been
I think he
given a
just
free
suits
role,
him
I think.
better. Yeah.
And he scored a few goals as well, which I think he needed for his confidence because he missed a couple when he last time he was here. But this year he's been great.
Yeah, all the shoulders, a bit more experience.
Well, that's great. We've got a couple of games coming up, which we'll talk about next time. So thanks to the chaps, and come on, you shrimps. Let's get these next 2 wins and get a push to the playoffs. Let's do it. Come on.